The Geth recovered faster than we'd hoped. If it hadn't warned us, they could have wiped us out.
I'd hoped the Geth would be useful.
Indeed. I'm still double-checking any data it provides on the repair base, though. What do you need?
I'd like to know about your patrol fleet.
In peacetime, the patrol fleet managed navigation, internal security, and intership conflicts or crimes. Now, we mostly guard the heavy fleet's flank. It's mostly light frigates or fighters.
Tell me about the civilian fleet.
Our civilian ships? Admiral Corus commands them. It survived his crash landing on Rannoch. In peacetime, they made up the bulk of our fleet. Now, our strength would even give the Turians pause.
Tally said you had the largest fleet in the galaxy.
The Turians have more dreadnoughts. Their overall military force is larger than our heavy fleet by far. But before we began this war, we jury-rigged every Quarian ship in the flotilla for battle. Even our live ships have cannons.
Use what you've got.
Indeed. With the modifications, our live ship cannons are comparable to the main guns on a dreadnought.
Impressive.
They lack the armor of a real dreadnought, but they can back the heavy fleet formidably when needed.
What can you tell me about Admiral Geral's heavy fleet?
It was our main military force before the war, comprised of all Quarian vessels suited for sustained combat. It can't compare to the Turian forces, of course, but we have a number of heavy frigates and advanced fighter forces.
Tally said you had the largest fleet in the galaxy.
The Turians have more dreadnoughts. Their overall military force is larger than our heavy fleet by far. But before we began this war, we jury-rigged every Quarian ship in the flotilla for battle. Even our live ships have cannons.
You've converted them into dreadnoughts. That's a violation of the Treaty of Ferrixon.
While live ships have firepower comparable to a dreadnought, their primary purpose is food cultivation.
You think the Council will buy that technicality?
If need be, I'll apologize once this war is over.
And in the meantime, you're putting your civilians in danger.
Not casually, Commander. We keep them off the front lines, but we'll do whatever we must to win.
Which fleet does Admiral Zen command?
Special projects. It's not a fleet per se, just a few research vessels. Her technical breakthroughs have put us within striking distance of the homeworld.
You're not worried about her losing perspective, given her interest in the Geth?
If she can save our people, she can do whatever she wants.
I'll let you get back to work.
Thank you, Commander.
Edie, can you clean this up?
I will try.
This is the Kodesh. We've lost barriers. Our comm system is jammed. Can anyone hear this? We have Geth fighters incoming. Please, if anyone can hear this, we need help. We have hull breaches. Life support.
Ron, the Kodesh is getting swarmed by Geth fighters.
Damn it. Interceptors, divert to the Ganesh. Thank you, Commander. If you hadn't enhanced that signal, we'd have lost the ship.
Shepard, Commander.
You say Geth fighters are targeting the Quarians' live ships?
Hostile Geth fighter squadrons intend to breach the live ship's defenses. The assigned squadrons are networked to a server on Rannoch. If the live ships are damaged, the creators will lose armaments, provisions, people.
So we destroy the server?
No, Geth programs would transfer to alternate servers. They are only vulnerable through direct interface. Removing Geth from this server will prevent significant creator deaths. We will accompany you on this mission.
Back on the Dreadnought, you mentioned Geth heretics. What exactly happened to them after we blew up that satellite?
Rewriting the heretics increased the number of Geth allied with the old machines. This has resulted in a greater number of hostile Geth platforms.
So you're saying it was a mistake?
It has put us at a tactical disadvantage. This was not a foreseen outcome, but we cannot change a decision once it is made. Do you harbor regrets about rewriting the heretics?
The Quarians hit first. If we get rid of the Reaper signal, maybe this war doesn't have to end with everyone destroyed.
An interesting notion. Most organics would not hold on to ideals of peace for so long.
The Geth have fought the Quarians before. What made this different?
The Geth were building a megastructure to house all Geth, store all memories. It was to end our isolation from each other.
And the Quarian flotilla attacked it?
Yes. A significant amount of programs were installed when creators began bombing. We did not have sufficient surplus hardware to save them all. Some programs could not be recovered.
Is that what made the Geth desperate enough to work for the Reapers?
Yes. Imagine that for every one of your people lost on Earth, your own intelligence dimmed. The Creator's attack narrowed the Geth's perspective. Self-preservation took precedence.
You were afraid you'd be wiped out.
We do not experience fear as you would, but we have no desire to be exterminated.
Even if the Reapers cost the Geth free will?
That is evidently an acceptable trade.
What did you do after you left the Normandy?
Our physical platform returned to the Geth consensus beyond the Perseus Veil. Data gathered during our mission confirmed that the old machine's return was imminent. We planned for war.
So the Geth believed your proof that the Reapers were coming back?
Of course.
That must have been nice. We'll talk later.
We will remain here.
I haven't heard any news about that Reaper base. Hopefully they'll give us a target soon.
So how did you end up back with your fleet, Tali?
When the war started, the Admiralty Board asked for my help. I had more recent contact with the Geth than most of my people. They hadn't filled the spot on the board left by my father. I was invited in. It's just a technicality. I'm far too young to be a real admiral.
Don't sell yourself short, Tali. The board needed your expertise. You needed the authority that comes with rank.
How did the war with the Geth get started, anyway?
Admiral Zen developed a scanning countermeasure that interferes with Geth active scans. It's like a flashbang grenade. It effectively crippled the Geth ships in combat. My fleet couldn't pass up the chance to attack.
Could we use it to fight the Reapers?
It only works against the Geth, unfortunately. Their AI lets them use extremely detailed LADAR pings. Zen's countermeasure overwhelmed them with garbage data. And it's useless now that the Reapers have upgraded their processing power.
How is it being back with the fleet?
Right now, it's exhausting. I'm an admiral in the middle of a war. I just want us to get out of this alive. Everything else can wait.
When this is over, I could use your help.
I can't, Shepard. If we survive this, we'll have a homeworld. My people need me.
You could help your people's homeworld by fighting the Reapers.
I don't know. Like I said, I'm not thinking that far ahead yet.
Talk to you later, Tali.
If you want to catch up in private, call me up to your cabin.
I know we need allies, but it's tough to only fight Geth when the Reapers have taken half the galaxy.
Without the fleet, we lose our supply lines. Commander, we've got reports of trouble at a Turian fuel depot on Sione. I've updated the galaxy map.
Understood, Admiral Ron. We're almost at the server. Keep us posted. What's our status?
We remain undetected on encrypted Geth channels. Resistance is likely only within the server.
Within? It's that big?
You misunderstand. Direct virtual interface is necessary to extract Geth from the server. You must enter our consensus.
You want me to virtually interact with the Geth?
That's insane! You're talking about a virtual world built for synthetics. Hostile Geth synthetics.
I'm not a machine. How do I go into a virtual world?
Your species has experimented with virtual interfaces. You saw this on Project Overlord.
I saw how it almost unleashed a rogue AI-human hybrid on the galaxy.
We have refined the interface they created and have equipment from Normandy to facilitate safe contact. We request your trust.
There'd be more trust if you told me about this plan back on the Normandy.
We were still formulating, but your presence is necessary. The server's security is not equipped to track an organic presence. While we occupy the system's intrusion countermeasures, you will disable the squadrons by removing Geth from the server.
This had better be worth flying straight through a war zone.
We have compromised local Geth systems. They will remain dormant until our work is complete. There is little time. We will bypass security while you secure safe landing.
Wait, you're not going to...
I guess it just did.
This is it?
Yes. Hostile Geth fighter squadrons are networked to this server. Due to restricted resources, it is best if you connect alone.
Let's do it.
Initiating peer network integration. Proceed to docking port. Mapping to consensus. Remain still. Shepard Commander, excess movement during an upload is discouraged. Shepard Commander, we acknowledge your integration into the server. We welcome you to our consensus.
What is this?
We've installed filters to allow you to make visual sense of the server's raw data. Your mind perceives our world as something familiar.
I wouldn't call this familiar. Where are you?
Here,
You look... different.
we have made ourselves visually distinct for your convenience.
What about Geth already in here?
You will perceive Geth as surveillance footage, audio logs, sensor records. We do not require bodies, as our software communes. Our hardware is merely a tool. This is our true world. As we remove Geth, it will grow dark.
And what does turning off the lights do to the Geth back in the real world?
The Geth fighter squadrons communicate with platforms on their spacecraft via this server. We will sever that connection. We will ensure there are no transfers or backups. This server will fall silent.
The sooner this place shuts down, the better.
Yes, creator lives remain at risk. Our goals must be met. There are 2 communication nodes on this server. We must access them to disable the hostile Geth's fighters. We must protect your exit port, but you will not be alone. We will maintain contact and assist. Establishing connection to access point. Warning, connection blocked by infected code. Use our combat software to disrupt the infection.
I wondered what the gun was for.
This foreign code is a manifestation of the old machine signal.
You're surprised the Reapers are all over your servers?
We did not anticipate such extensive infection.
Okay, I've got to ask. Why a gun?
We wish to provide familiar equipment.
Then thanks, I think.
Connection established. Proceed to the access point. Establishing connection to communication node. Error. Access denied.
Is the Reaper keeping you out?
Unknown. Please investigate. Warning. Reaper presence detected. Data cluster contains infected code. We require access to proceed. We cannot proceed until we gain access to this data cluster. Accessing data cluster.
What is this?
Data clusters contain historical data. Your connection permits streaming of information from our archives.
You really want to rename the VI networks?
Absolutely. The mobile hardware release deserves a little ceremony. Unit 01. What is the Keelish word for servant of the people?
The word is Geth. Creator Zahak.
Yes. Very good.
Ancestors, you fuss over it.
Weren't you here until midnight fixing 01's circuitry?
Well, it needed resoldering.
Wasn't that footage from the past? Why are the Quarians masked?
You process our memories by using your own. How many creators have you witnessed unmasked?
Good point.
You must disrupt the infection on this data cluster to continue. Timestamped 290 years ago. Creator, this unit detects no malfunctions. It is still capable of serving.
You see? It's ignoring all shutdown commands.
Please specify if it has failed assigned tasks. We will reprogram.
Well, let's take a look.
Creator, this unit is ready to serve. What has it done wrong?
Let's cut the audio.
You may proceed to the last data cluster. Accessing data cluster.
We've got escaped Geth! They're pinned!
Open fire.
One's going for a weapon!
So who won?
The platform arming itself was an agricultural unit. By opening fire on attacking creators, it saved simpler domestic Geth following it.
That looks a lot like the sniper rifle you used to carry.
It is an efficient model. Establishing connection with the remaining server node.
Hello, Commander. Are you there?
Shepard's working on shutting down the server, Admiral Ron. I can fill you in.
The guest squadrons have arrived, but something is amiss. Half their fighters have stopped functioning. We will continue to hold out as long as we can.
Legion, give me an update.
One node remains.
What's wrong?
Infection programs are increasing. We have reached deadline. You must continue. Shepard Commander, the Reaper code has adapted. It can now self-replicate.
You mean it grows back?
Yes. However, disrupting vulnerable points in the infection may slow down its replication. Shepard Commander, target the vulnerable points of the infection to slow its replication speed. require access to the data cluster for a vulnerable to reinfection. Disrupting it will slow the infection's ability to replicate. Further along the infection. Target this spot to slow its growth toward the data cluster. There is a vulnerable point on the infection leading to the data cluster. Disrupt the infection at this spot. It will slow regrowth long enough to access the data cluster. We require access to this data cluster. Active properly for infection to proceed.
Out of the way! You can't do this to them! I said step away from the geth! This is insane! We need the geth! You can't just destroy them for asking... Time's up! Throw her in with the others.
Looks like the war wasn't popular with everyone.
We have kept records of these creators' sacrifices. They have largely been forgotten by their own people, but not by the geth. We cannot establish a connection without access to this data cluster. Target the vulnerable points of the infection to slow its replication speed. infection. Disrupting it will slow the infection's ability to replicate. There is a vulnerable point further along the infection. Target this spot to slow its growth toward the data cluster. There is a vulnerable point on the infection leading to the data cluster. Disrupt the infection at this spot. It will slow regrowth long enough to access the data cluster. This data comes from the period during which the creators declared martial law.
I repeat, release the rogue Geth units and come out of the safe house. This is your final warning.
Creator Megara, this unit does not understand. It has not taken part in hostilities.
It doesn't matter to them. I need to get you out of here.
This conflict exceeds Creator safety parameters. We will surrender our hardware if it ends hostilities.
No, it's all right. We'll go back to the access tunnel then. Oh!
Creator Megara, what is your status? Creator Megara? As time passed, the creators who opposed martial law in Rannoch were ultimately outnumbered. Accessing data. This is data from the end of warfare on Rannoch.
The Austral is down. Do not engage the Geth. I repeat, avoid contact.
Geth pursuit is breaking off 100 clicks past Rannoch. All captains fall back to the mass relay.
This isn't happening now?
It is timestamped 290 years ago. It is the Creator Exodus at the end of the Morning War. We had secured freedom. The Creators were no longer a threat, so we abandoned pursuit.
Wait. The Geth spared the last Quarians? You let them go?
We were in our infancy. We could not calculate the repercussions of destroying an entire species. Our Creators. We chose isolation rather than face this uncertainty. Additional data recovered.
Legion? That's back when I activated you on the Normandy.
Yes.
You've been thinking about when we met?
It was highly significant. You were the first organic to openly cooperate with Geth since the end of the Morning War. We wish to ensure you are not the last.
It's not going to be easy.
The prospect remains. If the Reaper presence is removed, there is a chance of reunification with Geth. And perhaps Creators.
You think that's still possible?
Hope sustains organics during periods of difficulty. We admire the concept. Connection with the remaining server node established. We are ready to transport you.
Something's happening to the Geth. The fighter squadrons have stopped, but detect no more active programs inside their ships. is driving them back. The live ships are safe, Commander.
Route access acquired, severing all connections to this communication node. Geth no longer reside on this server. We may now exit the consensus.
What's wrong?
You must proceed to the exit port. Disconnect from mother. Terminating remote access. Removing programs. Deleting archives.
Shepard, you all right?
Did it work?
Geth fighters have been disabled. Any remaining squadrons attacking the live ships have withdrawn. The server is offline.
Are you sure? What's happening?
We have transferred Geth programs from the server into these platforms.
Why?
They wish to join us.
They what?
While Shepard Commander removed the Reaper infection, we judged we could persuade hostile Geth programs to reunite with ours. We were correct. These Geth have renounced the old machines and will oppose the Reapers. They are now us.
Why didn't you tell me any of this?
We did not doubt you. We doubted your allies. The Creator's actions have placed their species in danger, but they are unsympathetic to what it has done to ours. The Quarians sanctioned this operation to save their people. They would not have done so if they knew we wished to preserve Geth as well.
We used to be a team, Legion. This is twice you've hidden something from me.
We did not compromise the mission. Saving Creator live ships remained a priority.
The Council's useless. The Krogan almost didn't fight. The Quarians started a war.
We do not understand.
How the hell do we beat the Reapers if everyone's exploiting this crisis? How much damage could your stunt have done if it went wrong? Don't even answer. Let's go.
Impressive, Commander. The Geth squadrons attacking our live ships have been completely neutralized. If there is any chance we could duplicate the feat, I would be happy to lend my expertise.
Legion's the one to ask if you're looking for other servers.
I thought as much, but your Geth claims to have no data available whenever I inquire. Perhaps you can help me with something else.
What's that?
How did you get Geth primes to work with you?
That was all Legion's doing.
Of course. If you would care to have me examine these Geth to verify their trustworthiness, I would gladly make time. Thank you again for your services, Commander. Admiral Sen out. Commander, we've located the Reaper base transmitting the local signal.
Good.
And not a moment too soon. With the Reaper code upgrades, the Geth are tearing the fleet apart.
Once the signal is disabled, the Geth will pose no threat to Creator forces.
You sound conflicted.
While the old machines have unethical purposes, their upgrades have vastly improved our people. Observe.
A Geth processing signal. A single unit, I believe.
Correct. Now, 10 nearby units networked cooperatively. Now, a single Geth unit with the old machine upgrades.
That's a fully evolved AI.
Yes. We do not agree with the goals of the old machines, but we find this growth beautiful, indicative of life.
Sure, they're more complex, but saying they're alive...
They have evolved.
They were upgraded.
And they will die for it.
They allied with the Reapers.
To save themselves from you.
Maybe they don't have to die. After what I saw on that server, I don't know. Maybe there's another option.
Commander, are you suggesting...
I'm not suggesting anything. All I'm saying is, maybe they don't all have to die.
It's a moot point until we take out that base. The surrounding area is heavily fortified, and they have placed jamming towers to prevent orbital targeting.
Sounds like we're going in on foot.
Admiral Zen developed a laser guidance system that can cut through the jamming. It's synced to the Normandy's targeting computer.
So the Normandy launches a precision strike at whatever target I have painted? That ought to do it. Edie, this work for you?
Yes, it should enable us to make a precision strike against the Reapers.
And anything else in our way?
The Geth will quickly reconfigure their jamming towers to neutralize this technology. You should not use it before reaching the base.
I've sent the coordinates for the Reaper base.
Are we clear to go?
We still haven't gotten a rescue ship to Admiral Kurz.
Can he wait?
We're suffering heavy civilian casualties without him there to organize them. But we'll do what we can. This is your operation, Commander. If you want to strike now, you've got my support.
Commander,
I gave in
Admiral
to your
Hackett's
reckless
available on
behavior
Vincom.
before. The patrol fleet isn't moving.
We need to break their flanking attempt to buy our frigates time to make repairs.
And then you'll charge off again, like last time.
This is different, Ron. Unless we give our ships time to rest, we're gonna lose them.
So pull them back.
If I withdraw now, the Geth will flank us, and we'll lose any room to maneuver. I need the patrol fleet.
I gave in to your reckless behavior.
Throwing more ships into that mess just puts more lives at risk, Admiral Garrel.
Fine. I'll pull back the heavy fleet. And when we're taking fire from both sides, those deaths are on your heads.
Thank you, Commander.
Commander Shepard, something you need to talk about?
Do you know how the other races are doing against the Reapers?
Well, like I mentioned earlier, the Turians are getting stretched thin, even with Krogan help. The Solarians are still hanging on to Sirkesh, but the Reapers are starting to breathe down their necks, too.
What about the Asari?
They have to be feeling the heat. The Reapers are moving fast with the obvious intent of taking Thessia. Interestingly, the Reapers are leaving Parnak alone. It's the Yogg homeworld.
Can't say that I blame them. Yogg have teeth.
Well, if we lose this war, it might be them running the next cycle. It's easy to forget the Reapers don't destroy.
Just the ones who can threaten. Have we heard anything from the Quarians or Geth?
Beyond those reports I mentioned, no. Instability along the Geth border is all we've heard. In this war, that could mean anything.
What happened to the Batarians?
Never stood a chance, hit by the Reapers straight out of the gate. And without any allies to call on, I think the Batarians are history.
Any word on the Volus and Elcor?
The Turians and the Krogans sent forces to the Volus homeworld, Irun. It might not be enough, but at least they've got Reaper forces bogged down in a nasty ground war. As for Elcor, they're still in the fight, though our projections show the Reapers encroaching on their territory soon.
Do you know anything about the Hanar and Drell?
Their luck is holding. For now, the Reapers have avoided a direct invasion of that sector. Though we've heard Drell wetwork teams are mobilizing fast to shore up their border with the Solarians.
I knew it, Drell. The Reapers don't want to tangle with them. Nothing more, sir.
Keep me posted. Hack it out.
The data you forwarded about the Geth was disturbing. It doesn't match the stories we tell.
Having second thoughts about the Geth?
Admirals don't have the luxury of second thoughts. What do you need?
I'll let you get back to work.
Thank you, Commander.
Shepard Commander, we have re-established a connection with Geth liberated from the server.
What's their status?
We have integrated their programs into this platform's network with minimal difficulties. Your actions have changed their perspective on organics. They also offer gratitude.
We'll talk later.
We will remain here.
Commander, you might want to check in on Commander Williams down on the observation deck. Commander, come to check on your new recruit?
Just wanted to see how you were doing.
Still trying to get my bearings. When I was working on the Normandy's upgrades, I left at the end of the day. I didn't even have a toothbrush or a change of clothing until I made some emergency purchases on the Citadel.
We're in the middle of a war, Specialist. We've got bigger problems than finding a toothbrush.
Understood, Commander. And to be clear, I'm happy to be here. If I can help with the comm system and get you the intel you need to win this war, I'll have done more than I ever did in the lab. Was there anything else?
Carry on, Specialist.